Hello and welcome to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. In this session, I am going to cover question number 29 from practice paper provided by hadoopexam.com for AWS Solution Architect Professional Level. So now let's go to question number 29. So what question is saying? QuickTechie.com website is deployed on a WebLogic application server and they are also using AWS VPC with high availability. Select the correct statement which will help to deploy application with high availability. So first let's understand the explanation, then we'll come to the options to discuss more. So what question 29 explanation say? You can create a VPC that spans a multiple availability zones. So let me draw it here, one diagram. Basically when you create an account that is across AWS, correct, and all the region you can use it, and within a region you can create a VPC. Okay, that is a VPC which you need to provide some CIDR range while creating the VPC. Now VPC can across availability zone. Availability zone is your data center. So let's say this is one availability zone, that is AZ1. This is another availability zone. Those are generally nearby but geographically separate as well. So for disaster recovery and high availability and other physically AZ3. So this three availability zone you can have here. Basically this is your VPC and these are availability zone. So VPC can be across availability zone. So your network can be created across availability zones. After creating VPC, you can add one or more subnet in each availability zone. Your subnet, let's say if you create a two subnet here, it cannot cross the boundary of availability zone. So this is, let's say, subnet 1, this is subnet 2. Here you can create subnet 3 and here subnet 4 and subnet 5. That is where you can design your network, basically, correct? Each subnet must be residing entirely within one availability zone and cannot span zones. Availability zones are distinct locations that are engineered to be isolated from failures in other availability zones. By launching instances in separate availability zone, you can protect your application from the failure or from a single location. Suppose your application, this availability zone goes down, so anything which is deployed on this would not be available, correct, basically that time. So what you have to do, usually you need to do setup which is replicated across availability zone. So at least if one availability zone goes down completely, then still those are available. Now let's go to the options, what it would say here. Create a two VPC in two separate availability zones and set up a failover with elastic load balancers such that if one VPC fails, what do you mean by one VPC fails? It will divert traffic to another VPC. Why do you want to create a two VPC into separate availability zone? You can create a single VPC across availability zone. So then this is not a good choice to solve. Why do you want to do this? Because you don't want to share your IP addresses. Then why do you want to go for this, correct? So not a good choice. Create a VPC with only one private subnet and launch instances in different availability zone using the subnet. How is it possible? It is not possible at all. You can create one private subnet in one VPC, but different availability zone is not possible because your subnet cannot span across availability zone. So this is not a possible answer. Create a VPC subnet in two separate availability zone. Create VPC subnets in two separate and launch instances in different subnet. Yes, that looks to me correct answer. Basically you can have a here like this design, basically your VPC, and inside VPC you could launch one subnet here, another subnet here, and put instance here and here, and then that way if this entire availability zone goes down, still this is available and you can work it. Create a VPC with only one public subnet and launch instances in different availability. Again, this is not possible, correct? So answer is, third option is the correct answer here. So that is what you need to understand, how subnet, VPC, CIDR block all works basically, correct, and their concept. So based on that, they are trying to confuse you basically while asking question. That is what I have seen in AWS certification exams. If you really don't have a good knowledge, then it's very difficult to choose right answer, and sometimes more I have seen like all options looks correct when Amazon asks questions, correct? That is very tricky exam to clear. It's not that easy to clear. You need to learn concept, and those concept, once you learn it, that would be helpful for you to your real projects works in organization, pass this certification, and you would get a good command on AWS, correct? So for long term career, if you wanted to build your career on Amazon Web Service, then you need to understand in depth each things. Basically it's a much wider things to learn, but slowly we can learn everything. Thank you, I'm stopping now. Wish you all the best.